1 Thessalonians 5. Test all things, and hold fast to what is good. In the final chapter of his first letter to the Thessalonians, Paul continues to discuss the day of the Lord's return. He provides instructions for believers living in light of this future event, offering instructions about fellowship, behavior towards leaders, personal conduct, and how to treat each other. The chapter concludes with a prayer for the Thessalonian sanctification and a request for their prayers for him. Exegesis by sections. Verses 1 to 11, the day of the Lord. Paul begins by discussing the day of the Lord, which he describes as coming unexpectedly, like a thief, in the night. He contrasts the preparedness of believers, who live in the light, with the unpreparedness of those in darkness. Paul calls for constant vigilance and faith, emphasizing that God has destined believers for salvation through Jesus Christ. Verses 12 to 15, Fellowship in the body of Christ. Paul provides instructions on how to live in fellowship in the body of Christ. He commands them to respect those who labor among them and lead them in the Lord. He calls them to have peace, warns against idleness, encourages the weak, and urges the Thessalonians to always strive to do good to one another and to everyone. Verses 16 to 22. Personal conduct and spiritual discernment. Paul offers a series of brief exhortations for personal conduct: to rejoice always, pray continually, and give thanks in all circumstances. He also warns not to quench the spirit or despise prophecies, but to test everything and hold on to what is good, abstaining from every form of evil. Verses 23 to 28. Paul's closing prayer for the Thessalonians. Paul ends this letter with a prayer for the Thessalonian sanctification, expressing confidence that God, who called them, will surely complete it. He requests prayer for himself and for his fellow workers. He instructs the Thessalonians to greet all the brothers and sisters with a holy kiss, and commands that his letter be read to all the brethren. Overall summary. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 offers practical guidance for believers who are living in anticipation of the day of the Lord. Paul calls for vigilance, faith, respect for leaders, community support, joyful and prayerful lives, and discernment in all things. The letter closes with Paul's prayer for the Thessalonians, that they would be complete in sanctification, and a reminder of God's faithfulness. Through this final chapter, Paul provides a comprehensive picture of the body of Christ, awaiting the Lord's return, and emphasizing proper conduct.